up, wake-up call from Hollywood. Luka and LeBron were quacking. Feed them.
Make a decision. You can't get Luka. Just wide open layup or dunk. Harden had it. Here it goes to Reeves. Oh, look out! Look out, LeBron! Throw that baby down.
I mean, really, that's incredible. When you take a look at LeBron, record holder games played, minutes played, points scored, and shots made. Yesterday, he added another to that incomparable resume. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the winningest player in NBA history. 1,229 wins and counting, including the postseason. Bring in our friends. Amon, I want to start with you. Luka and LeBron have been fantastic. Do they need to be at their best the entire time for the Lakers to do what they've been doing?
I think they do. When we're talking about the playoffs, we're talking about guys getting ready for a certain rhythm and a certain approach that they can deal with the whole game. If you're a role player or a guy that's talked about as a swing guy during a season, you need to know that your stars are going to lead the charge the way that they lead the charge. Luka Doncic has been giving us a healthy diet of everything to expect in the postseason. It's actually starting to bother me that I haven't been talking about him more when we start talking about the MVP discussion, because when you think of the Lakers, there's no night that you feel like they can really come out here and compete if Luka is not suited up. So my bad for that, Luka, because you have been doing a great job, especially in this month. But yes, the Lakers do need LeBron and Luka to come to play, as well as AR to come to play if they choose to make any noise in these playoffs. And that's no disrespect, but also including DeAndre Ayton.
And look, in 600 points out of Luka, yeah, really, really good, historically good. Also historically good, Vince. You're sitting here, we talk about LeBron at 41 years old. What does prime LeBron look like at this age to you?
Prime LeBron is gone. Like, that dude no longer exists anymore. But the best of what LeBron has to offer is as a third option, as a facilitator, as the best supercomputer this game probably has ever seen, where his athleticism has waned, his skills and his mindset can sort of bridge the gap. I don't think you want to elevate LeBron to second option to, maximize him even more. I think you want to keep him right where he is, usage behind Austin Reeves, behind Luka, so that way he can take advantage of those matchups. I'm not sure how far the Lakers can go. We've been talking about this since the Lakers began this March streak. Can they get to the Oklahoma City, San Antonio class? They can't. They just don't have the personnel to get there. But can they get out of the first round of the playoffs with this best version of LeBron James, who on a night can steal you a game? All you need from your third option, if he's LeBron James, is to give you one night a series, and I think he can do that.
And on any given night, if he's your third option, and then all of a sudden LeBron has one of those vintage LeBron games, then the other team's going to really be in trouble, because we've seen it happen over the past couple of weeks. And Amon, I'm going to take something you said about not giving Luka enough credit, and you're bad for that. I think it's all of our bad for not sitting back and saying, wait a second now. J.J. Redick, head coach, Lakers, he deserves a lot of credit for this as well, Amon.
Yeah, it's just because we're giving the Lakers a ceiling, I think, just like what Vince was saying. We see a ceiling on them to, if you make it to the second round, by all means, that's a great season. But that's not to take away from what J.J. Redick's done, because he has figured it out. We did not see the Lakers becoming a third seed, and that's a lot to do with Luka Doncic and the offensive explosion that he's shown us throughout the season. I'm starting to think 34-8-8 sounds good in the MVP conversation, because who thought they were going to be here? When you think of J.J. Redick figuring out that I can have a scorer in Luka Doncic, I can have AR-15 ready to go, and I can have LeBron James take a back seat. You have to be able to communicate that to these three players who all are looking to be the number one option on another team. To have that conversation, sit all of them down, and then get all those guys in the locker room to get behind it. J.J. Redick has done a lot, and we've given him credit, but J.J. Redick, let me put my hands together one more time for you, because I'm glad it ain't my job.
Did he get in there?
Look, Iman, I love Iman. 34-8-8 sounds great, but let's be honest. The MVP is a higher level of conversation between two players, and that's Big Slim and that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's going to be on the ballot, but let's slow down. Now to J.J. Redick, I think the two most important things in the NBA are to have a star player in a head coach and for them two guys to be on the same page. The Lakers actually have that. And Luka is young enough, and J.J. Redick is young enough and still growing as a head coach. And he's done a remarkable job, I think, with mismatched personnel. They don't have rim protection. They don't have overwhelming athleticism. But this team has grown throughout the course of the year despite their roster deficiencies. And going back to what the franchise has to have, their future is bright. And we can talk about what they're going to do this season. I don't care what they're going to do this season. Who knows where LeBron is going to go after this season. But I think the Lakers are well positioned for their future in such a way that we haven't been able to say since Kobe Bryant and Phil Jackson were the franchise headliners.
So foundation has been laid again in L.A., and everything's positive right now in that side of the country. Over here with the Knicks on the road taking on the Rockets. Not as cakes and pies for the Knicks. KD in action last night, had a good one. Spots up, knocks down the jumper. Houston up 8. Next possession, Durant wide open, top of the key. We talk about how loaded the West is. Imagine if Durant and the Rockets, and they got on a little bit of a run. But again, loaded out West. Watch this. It's just good ball movement. Rockets up 17. A few possessions later, Şengün cutting Thompson. Houston in full control, up 17. And then, this is a fountain of youth season. You got LeBron doing, you got KD doing stuff like that. Rockets lead by 13 at the break, 63-50. Under 8 left in the third quarter. Thompson to KD, 27 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists for Durant. Rockets up 13. Under 3 minutes left. Durant's like, no, I got this. I'm just going to play 1-on-5. Rockets dominate 111-94. And it's been a bit of a struggle for the Knicks as of late.
We're not going in the right direction. We're not trending upwards. So we got to figure it out. It was 3 tough ones. We got another one tomorrow. That's a must-win for us.
All right, so after winning 7 straight games out of nowhere, the Knicks have hit the skids, losing 3 straight games, all by double digits. This is the second time this season the Knicks have lost 3 straight games by 10 points. They hadn't lost 3 straight by double digits in the previous 2 seasons. So I'm sure everyone in the New York area, Vince, wants to know what is going on with these Knicks right now.
I'm sure everybody's calm right now for the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
I think, look, let's take a step back here. Last playoff, they escaped by the skin of their chinny chin chin against a very young and somewhat diminished Detroit team because of their injuries. And then with the Celtics, they got very, very lucky in catching them at precisely the right time. We assumed that the Eastern Conference Finals was the starting point for this team. When you're looking at the fact that they have a new coach, that they're deeper, that their players are healthier and playing fewer minutes, and this team looks like this and they look so disconnected on both ends of the floor, maybe our expectations were a wee bit too high. When Josh Hart says our next game is a must-win, you know what that next game is, guys? It's in Memphis against the Grizzlies on lottery watch, and they're saying this is a must-win. That's why I'm very not bullish on this team as much. I think maybe our expectations were too high as opposed to saying, you know what, maybe this team can get to the conference finals as opposed to saying this team should get to the NBA finals. Does this look like a finals team to you guys after 75 games? You can't be saying that you're disconnected at this point with 7 games left in the regular season.
Come on.
Vince, I'm going to say this. The Knicks was going to beat Boston before that little hiccup happened. You was watching like I was watching, and they was going to win that series anyway. But we're going to keep rolling. The Knicks have a problem right now just because we are headed into the playoffs. And, yes, you're right. We did expect a little bit too much from them. Adding a new coach, we thought that would put them over the top. We thought this problem with whatever was going on, it's a very much a phantom thing that's going on with Karl Anthony Towns, where there's flashes of greatness and then there's flashes of indecisiveness. And indecisiveness is not something that people want to look at when we're going into playoff basketball. I thought Jalen Brunson, we know what we're going to get from him, but there might be a little bit too much emphasis on he has to do too much for this Knicks team to go far, and I don't like that.
And look, it appears, Vince, that we're hanging on to last year. You get rid of Tibbs. You bring in a new coach for a coach that got the team to the conference finals. Are you thinking that the Knicks last year were kind of the outlier and they were expecting too much from a team that maybe outperformed a year ago?
Absolutely. I think when you look at sometimes these championship windows are very finite. You can go from being right on the doorstep to having missed your time. And maybe that was last season. Maybe that was the past 2 seasons with the injuries that they've had. And Iman's right. We're not sure what to make of Karl Anthony Towns. And maybe, just maybe, their window should have been, let's figure out a way to get Giannis Antetokounmpo last summer as opposed to pushing all their chips to this roster this season, because it looks like they're lacking shot creation, rim protection, and even though the numbers say they're a top 10 team offensively, a top 5 team defensively, your eyes tell you something different, and you wonder if some of those great numbers are built off the back of really bad teams, because when they play really good teams and it's time to elevate their game, they look like a very simple team to play against that other good defensive teams can shut down.
Come on, last word.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I didn't think Jalen Brunson could get loose, and that scares me when you're talking about the defensive side of the ball. They're going to run into teams during the playoffs that can defend, and seeing that stagnant offense at times, I'm not impressed, and I'm not happy about it, because we saw last year what Jalen Brunson had to do to propel them into wins. We don't want to have to see that again and have to see it on a lower scale, knowing that the Knicks are not what they once were.
Just about 7-8 games left in the regular season. The playoffs, they always tell the story. We'll find out soon enough. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Here's tonight's ESPN NBA.